So I'm recording. Okay, so we're carrying on with inequalities today. We'll be solving inequalities next lesson. That's a bit trickier. The one today is pretty straightforward, and I think it should be very quick. And I'd like you to try and get 100% in it. I think it will literally take you about 5 minutes. Okay. If you still want to spend some more time on maths, that would be super. Just keeping your maths going to the end of the lesson. So if you get 100% in this, I want you to move on and just fill in any gaps you might have. Okay. Now I know one or two of you haven't got any gaps. If you can't remember where your gaps are, just drop me a quick note and I'll get back to you on that. Okay. And I think I mentioned to you yesterday, I've gone and set up the 3 tests we did throughout the year as assignments. So in a way, I think you should go and treat the one that you did worst in. And again, if you can't remember what your test results were, again, just ask me and I'll let you know which was your weakest one. I think in a way you should have your weakest assignment sort of on the go, really, as an extension activity. So just go and run it off. And if you do have any spare time in your maths lesson, just sort of go back to that and do a question here and do a question there. So I'm not suggesting you sit down and get the whole thing done over an hour period or anything. That's not what I'm saying. But I wouldn't ever want any parents getting back and saying, oh, he or she just did the maths really quickly. I want there to be some extra maths you could be working on as an extension activity if you have the time. Anyway, let me quickly model 3 of the possible questions on 267. So we've touched on this already. What we're now doing today, today's lesson is not number lines. We're looking for integer solutions. So that just means whole number solutions. So questions 1 and 2 are just asking you to write down all the whole numbers that fit into this inequality. Now you remember how this works. It means that x has got to be greater than or equal to -3, but less than or equal to 4. So what whole numbers fit into that? We just do a list. So that's going to include -3 because it's greater than or equal. And then obviously going up in ones, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3. And again, at the top end, it's less than or equal to 4. So you'd have to include the 4 there. So you'd just be popping all of those answers into the boxes. So that's questions 1 and 2. Here's an example of number 4. Again, exactly the same idea. Which are the integer solutions in this inequality? So greater than or equal to -1. So -1, 0, 1, 2, 3. I mean, if they're actually going to give you the number of boxes, I mean, it makes it even easier, doesn't it? Because you absolutely know what how many answers you should be giving. And then the final question, question 5. Okay, what is the largest possible value of x? That x could take. That it must be an integer. No, it's not very good English, but basically x is less than 5. What's the biggest whole number, integer, which is less than 5? Well, that's clearly 4. Okay, now that's it, guys. I reckon I wouldn't be surprised if some of you get 100% before 9:20 on this one. Okay, so it is an important topic, so it does need to be done. So I'm not apologising for it being very short. We do need to do it, but it is a quick one. So as I said, I want you to go and get 100% in this. Keep going until you get 100%, please. And then if you've got gaps, go and fill in those gaps. If you don't know where your gaps are, let me know. If you've got several gaps, maybe ask me which one I'd like you to do first. Okay, and I'll go back and see which gaps you've got, and I'll go and see which one's easiest. Okay, because I think we're better off filling in the easy gaps, because all the harder stuff we'll cover again in the years ahead, but the easier stuff we might not. Okay, right, that's it, guys. Thanks for joining me. Have a good weekend when it comes. Bye.